Joe Burrow just dropped a few words about Trey Hendrickson and the entire NFL internet lost its mind. But here is the thing. What most people are running with is not even close to what actually happened. The media clipped it, twisted it, and turned a totally normal comment into a war between two former teammates. And if you actually watch the full thing, you will be shocked at how different the real story is. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest Bengals updates on the planet. So let's break this down from the very beginning, because the context here is everything. Burrow was sitting in front of the media doing his usual press conference. Someone asked him about Trey Hendrickson signing with the Baltimore Ravens. Simple question, right? And Burrow gave a simple, honest answer. He said it was not very surprising. Then he said, and this is the key part that everybody missed, he said, I know Trey. I love Trey. I just know how he operates. That is it. That is the full quote in its full form. Now here is what certain sports accounts did with that. They chopped off the first half. They deleted, I know Trey, I love Trey, completely. And they just ran with the back end. Because I know how he operates. And posted it like Burrow was throwing shade at his former pass rusher. Like he was low-key calling Hendrickson a sellout, or a traitor. Can you believe that? How does that kind of reporting even get taken seriously? And honestly, this is one of the biggest problems in NFL media right now. Somebody says something totally reasonable, totally human, totally real, and within 20 minutes it gets chopped into something that sounds like drama. It gets framed as a beef. It gets framed as a diss. And then it spreads like wildfire because people click on drama way faster than they click on the truth. The full quote from Burrow tells you everything you need to know about how he actually feels. He loves Trey. He is not shocked. He gets it. That is a guy who respects his former teammate and understands the business of the NFL. That is not a guy who is angry or bitter or making a statement. Who do you think understands Trey Hendrickson better than Joe Burrow? Drop your answer in the comments right now. These two men were teammates for years. They worked out together. They pushed each other every single week in practice. They talked regularly. They are genuinely close friends. So when Burrow says he is not surprised and he knows how Trey operates, that is coming from a place of real knowledge and real friendship, not shade. But now let's talk about why Hendrickson actually ended up in Baltimore, because that part of the story deserves some real attention too. Trey Hendrickson wanted to get paid. And not just paid, he wanted to get paid. Reports were floating around that he was looking for a deal well above $20 million per year. The Bills were in the mix. Other teams were in the mix. But a lot of those offers were sitting right around that $20 million mark, and that was not enough for what Hendrickson was asking. So when Baltimore came to the table with what he was looking for, the decision became a whole lot easier to understand. And here is where it gets even more interesting. It is not just about the money. Trey Hendrickson wants a Super Bowl ring. That has been clear for a while now. He is not at the stage of his career where he is just collecting paychecks and going through the motions. He wants to win. He wants to be on a team that gives him a real shot at going all the way. Now you can debate whether Baltimore is actually that team. A lot of Bengals fans would laugh at that idea. But from Trey's perspective, he looked around the league, he weighed his options, and he made his call. He picked the place that he believes gives him the best combination of money and a shot at a championship. And here is the part that fans always struggle with. Players do not look at these moves the same way we do. Think about it this way. When Patrick Queen left the Ravens to join the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ravens fans were absolutely furious. When Donovan McNabb went from the Eagles to Washington, Eagles fans acted like it was a personal betrayal. But the players, most of them move on almost immediately. They shake hands, they pack their bags, and they go compete somewhere else. That is the NFL. That is professional sports. It is a business at the highest level. Now here is the spicy part that nobody wants to fully admit. Is there a little bit of spite mixed into this move by Hendrickson? Be honest. Going to a division rival. The Ravens specifically. After the contract drama with Cincinnati. Drop a comment below. Do you think Trey Hendrickson chose Baltimore to get back at the Bengals, or was it purely about money and winning? There is probably a small part of this that is personal. The Bengals and Hendrickson had a messy contract situation. Things did not end on the cleanest note. And when you have the chance to go play for a division rival and potentially come back and hurt your old team twice a year, some guys are absolutely motivated by that energy. But even if there's a little bit of that in the mix, it does not mean Joe Burrow is sitting in Cincinnati fuming about it. Because that is not what Burrow said, and that is not who Burrow is. Here is what is going to happen next, though, and mark these words. This whole clipped quote situation is going to keep spreading. More accounts are going to pick it up. More people are going to run the shortened version without the context. By the time it fully circulates, there will be people genuinely convinced that Joe Burrow is furious at Trey Hendrickson, that their friendship is done, and that this is some massive storyline heading into the season. And it is all built on a lie. A clip job. A few words removed from a sentence that completely changes the meaning. The actual relationship between Burrow and Hendrickson is fine. More than fine. These are two professionals who deeply respect each other, who know each other better than any reporter or fan ever could, and who understand that the NFL is a business first. Burrow even said it himself, "It is going to be fun when Hendrickson comes back to Cincinnati with Baltimore." He is looking forward to competing against his old friend. That is not anger. That is respect. This season is going to be fascinating to watch unfold. Burrow and the Bengals have a brutal stretch on the schedule coming up, traveling overseas and then stacking back-to-back primetime games against the Steelers and the Commanders. That alone is a massive challenge. Add in facing Hendrickson in a Ravens uniform and Patrick Mahomes back in the mix, and the AFC is going to be absolutely wild this year. The Bengals believe they are going to be in a different spot than last season. Burrow said it himself. And honestly, when a healthy Joe Burrow is locked in and fully committed, you cannot sleep on Cincinnati. But let's come back to the real point here. Stop letting chopped clips shape your opinions. Go find the full quote. Watch the full press conference. Read the full context. Because in today's world, the most viral version of a story is almost never the most accurate version. Joe Burrow is not mad at Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson made a business decision that made sense for his career and his goals. And two NFL players who spent years building something together in Cincinnati can absolutely still respect each other even when they end up on opposite sidelines. That is the real story. That is the truth. And it is a whole lot less dramatic than what your timeline wants you to believe. Now tell me what you think. Is this Bengals-Ravens rivalry about to hit a completely different level with Hendrickson in Baltimore? Let me know below. Because this storyline is just getting started.